Hi everybody, it's 9:30 here in Vancouver. So let's begin this webinar about our Master of Urban Forestry Leadership. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining today. Do please say hello. So if you want to say hello in the chat and let us know where you're listening from, where you are in the world, that would be great. It's always really interesting for us to hear and see where you are. My name is Shane Moore, and I work at the Faculty of Graduate and Postdoctoral Studies, and it's really great to be able to help moderate this session from the Master of Urban Forestry Leadership Programme. We've got a great session for you. You're going to meet program directors, people involved with admissions for the programme. We're going to have you meet with some current students as well to hear about their experiences. So we've got a lot to cover in the next hour or so. Before we do all of that, I do just want to take a moment to acknowledge that we're broadcasting today from the traditional, ancestral and unceded territory of the Musqueam. The Musqueam are one of the First Nations of Canada, and it's on their traditional and unceded territory that UBC Vancouver is located. Often during your time at UBC, you'll hear us give land acknowledgements. And I know you must be doing your research now into UBC and into forestry and our programs. But I'd really encourage you alongside that to read more about the history of these lands and also the history of the Musqueam people. As someone who's moved here from pretty far away, it definitely helped me to feel more connected to this place by doing that. Before I pass you over to the team, I'm just going to talk a little bit about UBC in general. So UBC Vancouver is really one of the top universities in Canada. So we're normally ranked first or second in terms of Canadian universities, and we're often ranked in the top 20 public universities globally. We've got a really dynamic graduate student community. So we actually have over 11,000 graduate students at UBC Vancouver, and these are working and researching across more than 300 different graduate programs across our 12 faculties. So you have a really amazing community of graduate students. There's some really excellent research happening. So over $900 million was invested into research funding and projects in the last academic year. Plus, we have some really great cutting-edge professional and course-based programs like the Master of Urban Forestry Leadership that we're going to hear about today. You can see some pictures here of campus. The one on the top left is the forestry building, the Faculty of Forestry building. And also, I just wanted to highlight the two in the middle. These are students out in the field as part of this program. And the top photo in the center is actually taken of students working in UBC's botanical garden. So you can see what an amazing campus it is, and do read more and do learn more about the campus as part of your research. The Faculty of Forestry itself has really excellent facilities. We have research forests. This picture is of our Forest Sciences Centre on the UBC Vancouver campus, and it's a real research hub, and that's important because that brings in funding, but also brings in some amazing faculty from around the world to teach and to do their research at the Faculty of Forestry in Vancouver. There really isn't anywhere else in Canada to study forestry. It's definitely considered as the top destination in terms of forestry. We have research forests, including the Malcolm Knapp Research Forest, and you'll have access to the Forest Sciences Centre as well as our Centre for Advanced Wood Processing. So really state-of-the-art facilities for you to tap into in this programme and being part of the community at the Faculty of Forestry. So now, without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Sarah Barron, who's going to talk more about the programme in detail. So over to you, Sarah.
Thank you so much, Shane, and welcome everyone to this information session. We are really proud of our facilities at the Faculty of Forestry. You saw the biophilic design within our buildings. We're also really proud of our urban forestry programs. We've got a Bachelor of Urban Forestry that's been running for over a decade now, and our Master of Urban Forestry Leadership Program, which we're here to talk about today. It's really a global leader in urban forestry education. For those of you who are coming from different disciplinary backgrounds, we just wanted to start off by talking about what urban forestry is. It's a really broad interdisciplinary discipline. It's a specialized branch of forestry, and we really focus on growing, managing, designing trees and landscapes in cities to benefit urban society. This includes people's mental, social, economic well-being. We showed you some beautiful photographs of our campus. This is a beautiful photograph taken by a former student, Sophie, of the City of Vancouver. So we work within the City of Vancouver a lot within both of our urban forestry programs. Just looking towards the next slide, I'll talk a little bit about how our program works. The Master of Urban Forestry Leadership is currently being offered as a 13-month full-time in-person program. You start in July 2026 and end in August 2027 for next year's cohort. The first 2 months, July and August, are an online self-guided course to get everybody up to speed on what urban forestry is, some of the really interesting places you can go with your urban forestry career, these sorts of things. And we have this course specifically designed to welcome folks from outside urban forestry disciplines. So we welcome students with economic backgrounds, anthropology backgrounds, arboriculture backgrounds, and all across the board, because we believe that insights from your previous life experience really help grow and shape our profession of urban forestry. Cities are complex. We love to work with people from all different backgrounds in urban forestry and in our program. Our program includes a lot of industry-aligned teaching, so we work really closely globally with the global urban forest community to ensure that what we're teaching aligns with industry needs. How do we do this? We have lectures, a lot of discussions, some self-guided learning packages, lots of different ways to access and engage with the content of urban forestry curriculum. We're really proud of our relationships with international leaders in urban forestry. So you'll get to work with, meet with representatives from government, business, academia, and nonprofits as you study at UBC. We do bring in a lot of guest experts who are, top of their field in the subjects that we might be studying that week. And you get to work with cutting edge technologies, mostly in urban forestry management, so that you come out of the degree with easily marketable skills to start your urban forestry career. This is us up at our Malcolm Knapp research, the photo, Malcolm Knapp research forest just last Friday. It happened to be a bit of a rainy day, but we were able to watch research in action. This is two scholars, one from UBC and one from Montreal, looking at harvesting techniques to increase worker safety in the field. So we try our best to connect with the latest in research as well through our program. And on the next slide, you'll see us, standing around learning about a very special tree, a very special tree species out in the field. So a lot more experiential education is part of our program. I'm not going to read this list of courses. Happy if you have specific questions to talk about them in the end, but just to give you a little taste of what we learn, we talk about, that first class, developing green and resilient cities, is really just grounding you in the ethos of urban forestry. We walk through geomatics, governance, arboriculture, resource and benefits assessment, strategic planning, communication skills, working with diverse knowledge. And then the last two classes that you see listed here are an opportunity for you to study something in depth that you're really fascinated by. So those are our capstone development and our final capstone course. It's a mini research project where we guide and mentor you through an area of interest that you have in urban forestry. We've explored with students many, many diverse topics from single tree management to species management in climate change to interactions with human communities, skateboarding communities, and these sorts of things in capstone courses. We're always excited to hear what students are interested in. This year, there's talk about successional planning, mini forests, health and well-being. So it's really, really fun for us and for the students to go into a little bit more depth in these courses. On the next slide, we'll talk about this is it in a bit more detail. So it is this opportunity to work towards a capstone that you can really be proud of your own independent work and a really great thing to share with your future employers. The products of that capstone are papers. We've had some publications from students, but more often it's a final report that looks really in depth into something that hasn't been explored in that depth in urban forestry before. This year, and in the past, we've had this as well. People are looking at guides. They want to give back the knowledge that they've learned through the program to a broader, more public audience. So, a sort of better practice guide in urban forestry and the aspect that they've explored in detail. I see that Eliza's just put in the chat a link to some of the projects that the students have done in the past in our project library. Thanks, Eliza, for doing that. And as I said, I'll just go in a little bit more in depth into how we explore urban forestry in practice. We have a monthly site visit across our region. We're very well connected, often through our alumni, to leaders in the various local governments across the Metro Vancouver region. So Vancouver isn't just one city. Our metropolitan region has, over 20 unique cities who all manage their urban forests slightly differently. And so every month we go to a different local government to see a special topic of interest to some of the course material we're working on and get to talk with the folks who are managing the urban forest for that special topic of interest that we are looking at that week in class. Another big feature of our program is to get away from Vancouver for about a week. Included in your tuition is a week-long field experience that complements the learning that you've done. Gives you an opportunity to liaise with urban forestry leaders in another city. This year we'll be going to Montreal. Next year, Quebec City to learn how urban forestry looks there and to work and learn from leaders there. It's both a fantastic networking opportunity and an opportunity to really ground the things that we're learning in class in a new place as well. It's a lot of fun. It's a great opportunity also to spend time with the students in your cohort. We have noted over the years that the cohort experience of the students who are all in that year together continues on for the years after their program. They're still in constant communication, sharing successes in the careers that they are developing since graduating from the program. And I'm leading right into the career pathways. So urban forestry is a relatively new field. It has been around for a while. It's very recently emerged as a growing area in city management. We're seeing a lot of jobs across our region become what am I trying to say? A lot of jobs emerging in our region in the urban forestry field across North America, across Europe, across Australia. We're seeing advertisements and new jobs created for urban forest planners, urban forestry supervisors, senior urban foresters, natural areas managers. The list goes on. our alumni are getting these jobs. This example of jobs is from, LinkedIn profiles of our alumni who are now urban forest planners, urban forestry supervisors, et cetera, et cetera. They also might go on to develop and run their own business, a consulting business, an arboricultural business. Some are going into planning departments and other things. Our job success rate thus far has been really high, and students are getting the jobs that they had been interested in joining the program. So we're also really proud of that in our program. Just a quick chat because you might be thinking, "Oh, I don't know about urban forestry." I came from the discipline of landscape architecture, and I was really passionate about growing trees, increasing biodiversity in cities. And I'm personally really interested in the human health impacts of trees, particularly how they facilitate social connectivity and sense of belonging in our cities. But I didn't have an urban forestry background when I stepped into this discipline. I did landscape architecture, as I said, and we know that people are coming from a variety of different backgrounds. So our program does not require a background in urban forestry. If you have a background in urban forestry, we do advance your knowledge throughout the program. What we're looking for is a clear passion for the subject matter. It's such a delight to read the statement of interest when someone has participated in a tree planting program, has worked with a local community to maybe do invasive species removal, and they realize this is the work they want to do. This is the type of community that they want to participate in for their career. So those sorts of stories are just lovely to read in the applications. So we're just looking for passion. We're not necessarily looking for in-depth experience. And a willingness to learn and engage in urban forestry topics and projects from wherever you're at right now are the things that we're looking for in our program. And now I'm going to pass it over to our fantastic admissions coordinator, Rebecca, who can tell you more about how you can successfully complete your application for the Masters of Urban Forestry Leadership Program. Thanks, Rebecca.
Thank you, Sarah. Hi, everyone. My name is Rebecca Kim. I'm the Admissions and Administrative Coordinator for the MUFL program. So over the next few slides, I'm going to be providing information about general admission requirements and application procedures. So first is academic background. And as Sarah has mentioned, while related degrees can be beneficial, they're not required. And since we review application holistically, we consider academic background, relevant work experience, the statement of intent, and references. And we look at the full application to understand how an applicant's background and goals align with the program and how their previous qualifications will support their success in the program. And if you're unsure whether your background meets the requirements, you're welcome to reach out to either Sarah or Eliza to further discuss your suitability for the program. And next is the GPA requirement. For those applying from Canada and the States, we are looking for an overall B+ average, which is 76% range in senior courses that are equivalent to UBC's 300 and 400 level courses. And I want to note that we don't convert your grades to the UBC grading scale. So we use your particular institution's grading scale to check whether you meet the overall B+ requirement. So your grading key page is also needed as part of your application package. For students applying from international institutions outside Canada or US, it is based on their overall average. So their minimum GPA requirements for international credentials it depends on their countries, and these criteria are set by the Faculty of Graduate and Postdoctoral Studies. So I encourage you to refer to their website to check the minimum requirements. And I will include the link for that page to check your minimum requirements later in the chat box. Next is the English language proficiency test. So if your degree you're using for your admission was taught in a language not in English, you'll need to provide an English proficiency test score. And acceptable tests are TOEFL, IELTS, KIEL, and PTE. And they must be taken within the last 2 years. Next slide, please. How to apply. So I will go over each point in detail and make some highlights. So complete the online application and pay application fee. You can apply by completing the online application, and this can be only submitted by paying the application fee. For domestic students, it's $100.12. I think the number on the slide is outdated. For domestic, it's actually $118.50, and for international, it's $168.25. And for those who are wondering about application fee waiver, the only circumstance would be if the applicant is a citizen and a resident of one of the least developed countries as declared by UN. And if you're eligible, the application system will automatically not ask you to pay in the end of the application. Next is provide scanned copies of official transcripts for all post-secondary institutions you have attended. Even if you took one course or courses only without credential at an institution, you must list them on your application and upload the scanned copy of the official transcript from that institution. An official transcript is not the screenshot of the institution's website or the record of your grades downloaded from the institution's student portal. Normally, you can obtain this official transcript from your registrar office. And as mentioned, the grading key page is also required for GPA calculation. Next is the references. We need a minimum 1 academic reference out of the 3 references. And for references, please make sure that your referees use an official institution or professional email addresses. Our system does not send reference links to the free email accounts like Gmail, Yahoo, or Hotmail. If a referee only has a free email account, they will need to mail a hard copy reference letter to our office, and the instructions will be sent to their free email addresses. Next is the English language proficiency test. Mentioned, if you need that score, please submit as part of your application. Last is submit your MUFL questionnaire, letter of intent, and curriculum vitae. This is self-explanatory, but this is a part where you can elaborate your skills and experience and how those are related in succeeding in your program, program. And statement of intent is normally 1 or 2 pages long, and you can state about your academic interest and what you hope to achieve in the program and how you will succeed in the program, and how you can utilize the skills and knowledge acquired from the program in your future career path, and why MUFL at UBC is the best place for you to pursue your interest. Yeah, next please, sheet. Yeah. So next steps, join an advising session with our grad student services team and get started on your application. We hold weekly advising Zoom sessions, so please feel free to join if you have additional questions or would like to learn more about your suitability and questions or qualifications for the program. Learn more about MUFL on our website and sign up for our mailing list to keep up to date about upcoming events, program opportunities, and important deadlines. That's all from me, and I'll pass it on to Shane.
Thanks, Rebecca. Thanks for all that really detailed information. That's super helpful. Thank you, Sarah, for the great program overview as well. Now it's time for us to answer your questions. So do let us know any questions that you have in the Q&A. We will also have some of our current students joining shortly as well. So they'll be jumping online over the next few minutes. So if you have any student-based questions as well, you can send those through. Let's just answer these first couple of questions to begin from Fernando. Maybe we can start with the second question first. Fernando just asking about his overall grade and how that whether he meets the requirements or not. I mean, what I would say, Fernando, is you're actually doing the right thing by reaching out to the program directly. So what we can do is Rebecca will be able to get back to you, and Rebecca could provide her email address in the chat, I'm sure. But in terms of that individual feedback on your grades, we'll connect you with Rebecca, and then we can give you some feedback on that, and let you know about moving forward with the application. I know the other question that you had was around meeting the language requirements, and that question is, do we make conditional offers, or could we make a conditional offer while we're waiting for the language requirement? Rebecca, would you be able to field that question? Do we make conditional offers if we're waiting for one part of the application?
We don't make any conditional offers. So if you think you don't meet the English language proficiency test score, as mentioned, we look at the application as a whole. So not meeting the English language proficiency does not make you admissible to the program. So we look at your professional background and also your GPA, your institution background, your academic background. And if we think that you're suited to the program, you can succeed in getting into the program.
Great. Thanks, Rebecca. And that's great advice for everybody. The program and UBC graduate programs, we do always take a holistic view. So just because you might feel that one area of your application is not as strong as it could be, don't let that deter you too much. And the best thing to do, like we've just said, is reach out to the program directly. Rebecca's put the email address in the chat. And if you have those individual questions about your eligibility, do check in with us and we can give you some feedback on that. Sheena asks, they have been out of school for 9 years, so getting that academic reference would be difficult. Is it possible to use a employer? Is it possible to use a professional reference instead?
I can answer that question. Yeah, so like in those cases, we recommend submitting 3 professional references who can speak to your skills, like work performance and overall suitability for the program and for the graduate studies. Yes, you can.
That's great. Thanks, Rebecca. And maybe I can lead off from there while we wait for some more questions. Just to check in with Sarah and Alyssa. When you're looking at applications, like how important are the references? What sort of things do you look for in the references in students' applications?
I think that's great. And just building on that professional references, looking for that passion, looking for that interest in the space of urban greening, urban forestry. We see a lot of fantastic references just showing sort of concrete examples of how you've been working independently, how you have been sort of maybe doing some leadership in the space that you're working in. I think those are really important. Sometimes they're academic and sometimes they are employers who are just talking about your own personal skills as an individual. It helps us get a more rounded and complete picture of who you are and why you might be a great fit for the program. I think
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
great. Those references are so important. So do make sure you think carefully about who to ask, and it's also okay to sort of support and prepare your referees. So let them know the process, and you know talk to them about why you've applied to the program and why they think you could be a good candidate. So supporting your referees and helping them to write your really strong references is really encouraged by us for sure. And I can see we've got a couple of our students have arrived. Erica and Brian and Jared. So welcome. Thanks so much for joining us today. We're just around halfway through the session, and we're doing a Q&A. But it'd be great to sort of turn it over to you three to get student perspectives on the program, and maybe each of you could do a quick introduction and say hello. And it'd be really great to hear about why you chose this program, why you chose the Master of Urban Forestry Leadership over the many other graduate programs that are out there. Erica, would you want to go first on this one?
Yeah, sure. So MUFL for me, I was definitely drawn to the online availability. That was fantastic. It just made it so much more accessible for me. And then also the part-time fit kind of that professional atmosphere of being able to work and or have family life balance. So that was really important to me that I'm coming into this really wanting to learn. It's not just about hitting the grades necessarily. It's about really processing the information. So it was part-time at the time that I signed up for it. So it tailored well to what I needed. But that being said, even at a full-time scale, like it is really a learner-based course, I find, or program. So I'm really appreciating that. And then it just felt like the right natural step. I come from a more blue-collar background, having been in the industry, boots on the ground more so. So being able to kind of elevate my education to a much more academic stream was a really wonderful option. And this just seemed really encompassing and inclusive of where I wanted to grow, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense. That's really great. Thanks for that
I
insight.
also really liked that a lot of the educators and my classmates were going to be, so there's a huge global perspective, heavy emphasis on Canada, but it like really helped round out a lot of areas that I would not have thought about. So I really appreciate that.
Awesome. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really great to hear. Thanks, Erica. Brian, could I pass it to you next? Give us a quick intro and let us know why you chose the MUFL program.
Sure, thanks, Shane. Yeah, my name's Brian. I work in a municipal government for a local municipality in the Metro Vancouver area. I chose MUFL because it allowed. I'm same as Erica. I'm in the part-time option, remote. So it allowed me to continue with my work, and yeah, still be able to make a living, but still go to school at the same time. I was fortunate enough to I'm fortunate enough to have support from my employer and have a learning contract for the program. And it works out fantastic with my work schedule. I can coordinate work meetings with schooling, and yeah, it I guess reasons for doing it would be just looking to further my academic schooling. I found that I sort of encountered roadblocks in terms of moving up within my workplace and needing that higher level of education. So I hope to gain that higher level of education to perhaps one day move up to a different position in my workplace.
Excellent. Thanks, Brian. That's great. Gerard, can I pass it over to you?
Sure. Thank you, Shane. Yeah, my name's Gerard, and I'm the owner of a tree care company, arborist business, consulting company, and tree nursery in Didsbury, Alberta. I've had a long career in urban forestry. It's been 35, going on 40 years, or somewhere around there, if I count every last year, right? So I'm a little different than the rest of the students in that I kind of already know what I want to be when I grow up. So I'm quite happy to be where I'm at and to use MUFL basically to sharpen my skill set and become a better consultant. And it's just been an amazing program. A little bit more than a year into it now, I guess. If I think about it, a year and probably 18 months or so into it here. So kind of approaching the back stretch, as it will. And it's been an incredible eye opener for me. And like Erica said, the global perspective is amazing, and the networking that has occurred with my cohort and instructors and all the network of urban forestry for the University of British Columbia has just been, just second to none. Really good support and coaching from the staff. The part-time format is really fits me well. Although I did drop a part-time job I had teaching for many years because that was just too much with this as well. But that was a sort of a career decision for me anyway. So uh, yeah, it was great. I love it, and I really wish that it was available to me. At the beginning of my career, it would have made a big difference, I think. But I know it's fairly new, so I sort of jumped on the opportunity when it became available. That's my story.
That's great. Yeah, and great that you're able to bring your experiences in your career into the classroom as well. That's really exciting. That's really great. Excellent. So, Sarah, I know you want to take this question from Nicholas. I'll just read the question out just for the recording. But Nicholas will be graduating in the summer from the Bachelor of Science in Natural Resources Conservation at UBC. Throughout their 4 years at UBC, they've had experiences where they're working with people of different cultures and community participation. Would that be a good experience to have, or experiences, or experiences about forestry or working with forestry better in the application? Could you chat to that one, Sarah?
For sure. Urban forestry, we joke in our field, is more than 50% about people. We are really, a lot of the folks, I mean, you're just had 3 students who are working in the field. People is the heart of what we do. We're not managing necessarily for people. We're managing for, other flora and fauna as well. But we do take the urban population needs into consideration a lot when we manage urban forests. So having that background in sociology, in any forms of community engagement, multicultural, international relations is just really important background as well. Don't let the word forestry intimidate you at all. We also, at Forestry, UBC Forestry, as well as within the Urban Forestry program, take a really broad perspective on what we mean by forestry. It's really about stewardship, about reciprocal management of our natural resources for the benefit of all living things. So with that sort of more broad perspective in mind, that's how we think about urban forestry.
Thanks, Sarah. That's really great. And another question here from Kate, who just wants to know about if it's still possible to do the online version, remote, part-time formats. Sarah, could you speak to the different formats and schedules that are available at this time?
Yeah, as we sort of understood what the needs were for urban forestry education, I know we've got these 3 fantastic students. Thank you, Gerard, Brian, and Erica, for coming today to talk about your experience. You were part of the part-time online program. We saw a growing need for an in-person program and have shifted our focus for the next few years on that. We just spread ourselves too thin to be doing both. So there's a pause on the online part-time delivery as we focus on this in-person program delivery. It's not to say it's completely canceled, but it is on pause right now. So for the next year, which I'm assuming many of you are here wanting to find out about application process for this year to become part of next year's cohort, it will be an in-person full-time 1-year program.
Great, that's great to know. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks for that background. Erica, I noticed you're typing an answer there. Do you want to speak to the room and jump in on that question? Feel free.
Sure. I was just saying I'm actually quite jealous of the in-person cohort. Because it'll like I know that there's some opportunities, but as somebody kind of removed from a lot of folks are in BC, but I can't wait to be able to actually meet people from my cohort in person. There's just a certain level of like learning and you just vibe off of each other that sometimes online gets a little bit missed. Like our group is really great with that, but I really get the sense that if you can be in person, that element of community is really, really going to benefit you in the long run. So I wouldn't like online is great, but man, I would love if my life had let me do the in person. So don't be swayed just because it's not online.
Thanks, Erica. And I'm sure I talked to many of you. Sorry, Gerard, I'll just go and then let you chime in. It's a challenging life decision. And I've spent a lot of time with applicants, so feel free to reach out to Rebecca as well. Um, Making a commitment for 1 year of your life to come to an immersive program can be really beneficial. You're out in the job market that little bit earlier. It can work for some folks. So yeah, have a careful thought. Happy to have a chat with you about where you're at and how it might work best. And I'm sure, Erica, Gerard, and Brian have things to say. So I'll pass it over to Gerard to weigh in with his thoughts.
Thanks, Sarah and Erica. Yeah, I couldn't agree more with Erica. If I could take a year off and gone to this full time, it would have been awesome too. And just getting the opportunity to meet some of our fellow students recently at the field trip that we had, which was absolutely spectacular, down to Australia and New Zealand. What an opportunity that was to go to the international conference and tree climbing competition and hang out at the University of Melbourne in the city of Melbourne. Learned so much from a place that is literally, on the forefront of the global heating emergency and climate change, and are tailoring their policies to meet those challenges was just amazing. But the people part is really important too, and I think there's a strong connection that you feel to the community when you are able to meet with people face to face. Which is not to say I feel extremely lucky that I got into the part-time program and I'm able to do it, but yeah, absolutely. Either way, I'm sure it's fantastic.
Thanks, Gerard. That's really great insight. So do let us know at home if you've got any more questions for any of our panelists. Just type them into the Q&A and we'll do our best to answer them. While we wait just to see any more questions come in, maybe I can ask our students another question. And Brian, maybe you can start us off on this one. What's been your favorite moment of the program so far? So it might have been a really great course or experience or discussion in the class. What's been your favorite moment in the program so far?
Yeah, I'd have to just build upon Gerard's what he referenced. Our trip to Australia and New Zealand was a fantastic experience. I mean, it was great to, as we are online, it was great to put a face to the name and the face behind the screen and meet people in person. But yeah, the trip was a fantastic opportunity just to learn from other students, learn from other practitioners, and see how other people around the world are practicing urban forestry and implementing it. We had a tour of City of Melbourne, urban forestry staff, showed us how they're implementing urban forest practices, and I'd probably say that was the highlight of the whole MUFL experience for me. Just seeing what they're doing and seeing that they're facing some of the similar challenges that we're facing here in Vancouver was encouraging to me.
It sounds amazing. It sounds incredible going to Melbourne. That's awesome. Erica, could I throw it over to you next? What's been your favorite moment so far in the program?
So I'll answer this in just quickly, couple ways. So favorite moment, I mean, there's been a lot of like aha moments so far, which I love. Definitely keeps me motivated and excited. I would say one of my favorite moments actually was meeting my mentors and finding just like a couple of people that were like energized by my ideas. Because sometimes I feel like a lot of us are like, oh, what can I possibly contribute to this industry? Or like, it's just so like, it can be daunting. And then to hear people that are actually, yes, that's really affirming. And so my mentors I found are both like-minded in some ways and different in other ways, but they're both just um, excited. And I really, really appreciate that. So that would be a really affirming moment, exciting for me. And then one of my other favorites is just like the in-depth teaching that we have and opportunity to roll classes forward. So we did diverse knowledge systems course, which is like challenging our thought processes about indigenous thought processes or traditional knowledge from all sorts of indigenous groups across the world. And that was just really neat to reframe a lot of thinking patterns and be able to roll that forward. So that kind of learning has been really interesting to me, and that it's like one class will apply to the next and it just kind of all rolls forward. So that's been very like a favorite to me, I guess. Not in a moment, but in like many moments, I guess.
That sounds amazing. No, that's great. Thank you for those examples. Gerard, can I pass it to you? What's been your favorite moment or moments on the program?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, there's been many, academically and just in terms of my personal goals and I think it's being given the opportunity to make a difference in the world. The other part of urban forestry in this degree is leadership, and I think that there really is a role to play for all the graduates of this program to really influence policy, inform policy, and make a difference in the world wherever you happen to be with whatever level of government you happen to find yourself in, be that the private sector or municipality or provincially or nationally or with your nation, to advance nature-based solutions worldwide and greening. I think the world today that we live in is seriously we're seriously in threat of being beyond the point of sustainability, I think here, and maybe we're on the precipice of some big change, and these courses and this background, this learning, um, I hope, and I certainly have come to believe that it is going to be enable it will enable us to push the change that needs to happen. I believe that. Thanks.
No, thank you. That's great. Thanks, Gerard. There's another question here from Edward that's just come in. Is the MUFL program strongly recommended for someone who's seeking to work as a city planner or opportunities to get an ISA certification? Sorry about that. Sarah, can you answer this one?
Yeah, sure. We have the class in arboriculture, and one of our first assignments, I'm going to be more specific because there's that question about specifics as well, from Nafisa. We do have a test that's modeled on the ISA arborist exam. We don't exactly test for it, but we give you the foundational knowledge you would need to succeed in the ISA certified arborist exam. And we're also, because now we're in person, working towards a training workshop to be offered next year for students who are in the program now to work towards that ISA certification, because we're noticing it coming up on a lot of the job postings in this space. We have also had students go into planning, sometimes with ISA certification, green space planning, parks planning, natural areas planning are all job titles held by our alumni. So yeah, there is space to go into that aspect of planning as well with the program.
Great to know. Thanks, Sarah. That's really helpful. Great questions, everyone. Please keep them coming if you've got any other questions. Maybe I can just build on Edward's question and ask Sarah, what sort of support is available for students in finding that job after they graduate? Is it something that happens during the program? Is there anything that happens? And is there a role that the network plays in terms of student network and alumni network to help students with the next step?
Oh, that's a neat question. Since right in the moment we're planning our urban forestry networking event, so we host one with the local regional urban forestry network. It will be on January 15th. Brian, for those of you who are in person and planning to attend. So that's a great opportunity for our Masters of Urban Forestry students, who we call MUFL, if you heard that term come up. The MUFL students to meet with our regional network of urban foresters who are working in this space across the region. So that's one way we facilitate networking. Because we've been online, that person-to-person networking has been somewhat more challenging, but you get these opportunities through the classes and through mentorship to meet and work more in depth with folks from across the world. Your career trajectory is really up to you, but expressing interest in a certain space, in a certain field, we do our best to smooth the pathway towards what you're interested in, whether it's facilitating a connection, sending an email, setting up a meeting in the space that you're looking to work in. We do that as a program to help students build their careers post graduation.
That's great to hear. Thanks, Sarah. So we're just here for sort of a few more minutes. We're going to wrap up at 10:30 Vancouver time, which is in about 8 or 9 minutes. So any more questions you've got, now's the time to let us know. Another question from me, maybe this can go to our students first, is have you got any tips on applying to the program? So I know people listening are going to be putting together their application, thinking about that right now. Would you have any tips on organizing references? What did you write about in the written component, in the statement of interest, things like that? Gerard, would you want to go first on this one, and any application tips?
Sure. Yeah. It seems like quite a long time ago that I applied, but I was worried because heck, it's been a long time since I went to school. My undergraduate degree, I graduated in 1985 from the University of Calgary with a degree in philosophy and political science, and which some people would say it's not very relevant, but it is relevant. It is relevant, and it doesn't really matter what your background is. If even if you didn't have university degree necessarily. They'll look at experience. They'll look at stuff like ISA certification. They'll look at a range of factors. There's a number of different ways that you could become qualified. A reference is really important. I think I had a good reference. One of my colleagues was head of the horticulture department at Olds College where I was working. Wrote me a really nice reference letter, and I'm not exactly sure why I got in. I was hoping that's why. I'm just saying it's, they look at this discipline, they look at a wide range of different backgrounds, multidisciplinary, really, when it comes down to, like Sarah said, don't be afraid that it calls it, from the forestry in there, because it's really, there's a lot of background that's relevant.
That's great. Thanks, Gerard. Erica, can I throw it over to you next on application advice?
I'm not sure if you guys have talked about this already, but for one, if you're going to apply, talk to your referees as soon as you can, because sometimes they have busy lives too, and it gets to last minute. And I think in mine, I kind of had to give a nudge to one of mine, and I was like, they're doing you a favor by doing this. And so it can be a little awkward to have to take them down. So if you get them early and lots of time, and maybe just I absolutely have to have this in by this date, just be really clear about that. And then even ask them can I give you a nudge if it has, I don't know, something like that. Just kind of set the scene early with your references, I would say. And then secondly, I would say that in your written part, just write authentically to you. Don't write what you think that's the I don't know, academic decision makers, I don't know, Sarah, the program directors, who what they think, like, don't what you think they want to hear, just write authentically to you, because I think there's such a diverse group of folks in this program that you would really do yourself short if you just wrote about someone else or who you think should be in this program, because there's a very high chance that if you authentically should be in this program, then you'll end up in the program. So, I mean, barring the rest of it, but like, I think, yeah, don't write, be authentic, I guess.
Really great advice. Totally agree with that. You know, support your referees, make sure they get those references on time, and authenticity is so important in the application. So do really work on any elements like your statement of interest that can show that. Brian, what do you think? Any other application advice?
I think, like Gerard, it had been a long time since I've been to schooling, and I'd say my academic experience was limited. So I guess I'd like to think that I was accepted based upon my previous work experiences and life experiences. Yeah, I think with respect to like references, I focused on using strong academic references to support my application, just because I didn't have a ton of academic experience. So I felt like, oh, I could bank on those people, their word. And like Erica said, I had similar issues where I had to nudge my referencee along in the process, as they were a little slow to, which can be awkward. So yeah, just always a good reminder just to nudge them along. Yeah, I think I think similar to Gerard and Erica, it was nerve-wracking whether I got into the program or not, and I think I think my acceptance was reflective of my application, and I spent a lot of time on that application to make sure that it was well written, authentic, like Erica said, and well supported with good references.
Great advice. 100% agree with all of that. Excellent stuff. Great. We've had a question in here from Nafisa. This is a question for our students. Erica, maybe you can start us off on this one. What did you find the most challenging part of the program to be?
So to me, most challenging, I guess, for me is like I have a level of perfectionism. So I've struggled with getting past and out of my own head about writing and the learning of it instead of writing for grades. And so I am challenging myself personally, especially with academic writing. I'm not that strong in it, that it's okay to have mistakes because you're learning from them. And it's actually kind of encouraged because that is how you learn. So for me, it's honestly getting past my own level of barrier, I guess. I have been my own biggest challenge in this program, I think. So I'm still working on it, but yeah, it's definitely challenged the way that I think about things and approach assignments, and it's been lovely at the same time. So I don't know if that answers your question, Nafisa, but that's where I'm at, I guess.
That's really helpful. Brian, can I throw it over to you?
Similar to Erica, my academic writing, I don't have a lot of experience, so I really had to work at that. The first few months of the program was a bit of a culture shock for me. I think maybe it was designed intentionally that way, but it was a good reminder just what it's going to take to get through this program and to be successful. I survived. It was challenging for me because I hold a full-time job and I have a family at home. But it was, when I look back on it, it was a good experience.
That's good. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, grad school is challenging because I know Brian says he survived or he's surviving, but you know, it is definitely worth it, and you know, those challenges can be really rewarding. You know, in the learning outcomes and what you get. So yeah, think about your time planning and organize yourself, and that'll really help you set you up for success, especially if you're as busy as some of these guys are, as Brian and the other students are. Gerard, over to you. What's been the most challenging part of the program for you?
Well, I would echo, the statements of my cohorts there, Brian and Erica, for sure. And like just getting back into it, the academic aspect of everything, the writing, juggling, time commitments, the full-time job, and yeah, I was pretty much ready to let my part-time job go anyway. So I'm glad I did that. That gave me a lot more time, but then still, running a business can be, really challenging on its own, and adding in, a part-time master's degree is another thing entirely. But I think it's been well worth it. I think on the balance of things, I've gotten way more out of it than I thought I would, which is great. And I'm continuing to enjoy it and be challenged by stuff. Geomatics has been, I won't lie, geomatics is certainly a challenge. Back when I was in school, I feel like an old timer now. Like back when I was in school, the Russians are putting up satellites in space. Pretty soon nobody's going to need a map anymore. We'll have these little supercomputers. And yeah, it seems like science fiction, right? But yeah, no, it's amazing. What a great tool. Learning it, and now I'm using it. In my professional life and in my business, and it's turning out to be a great tool. So pretty happy. It's been challenging, but definitely worth it.
Great, yeah, that's really great to hear. Thank you all. Thanks. Alyssa's just put some email addresses for Sarah, Alyssa, and Rebecca in the chat. So if you do have more questions moving forward, you can reach out to us by email. Sarah, we're just at 9:30 here. I think we'll have to begin wrapping things up. Maybe I can turn it over to you for any final thoughts.
My final thoughts are, reach out if you have questions. One thing I didn't mention is we're super keen to make sure that this is a great fit for you and the career growth that you're looking for, the personal growth. So that's as important to us as anything, is making sure that it's a great fit for you. So I'm happy to answer more questions. Eliza's happy to answer more questions, and Rebecca about the program. I'm sure the students, Brian, Gerard, and Erica, would also be happy to answer questions, because it's a big investment of your time, your emotional energy, and financial energy. So making sure it's a great fit is really important to us. Thus far, I think it's worked out quite well.
That's great. No, it definitely sounds it from some of the outcomes and some of the student experiences. That's really amazing. So we're going to wrap things up for today. Thank you, everyone, for your questions. They've been really good. I want to say a really big thanks to our student panelists for joining today. Really appreciate your time. It's been really insightful. Thanks to everyone who's delivered this session, and Sonia and Alyssa behind the scenes. Thanks for all of your help. We're going to say goodbye for now, so I'm going to close the webinar. It will end quite abruptly, but as we've said, be in touch with us, and good luck with your applications, and we'll hopefully see you on the MUFL program soon. But we'll say goodbye for now. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.